I met an old man who said he was Deptford. He had an old walking stick, plucked from the pocket of the market square. His accent flicked between the Jamaican and Spanish, from Indian to Vietnamese. He'd eaten pizza on a stationary bus, a Scotch egg in a bird's nest. He'd got drunk in a job centre, spilt milk in a train carriage, then lazed by a dage with the strange pics on the wall. He'd watched marathon runners blow through a barrel of weed smoke, pushed with the rumble of a reggae rhythm. He'd followed patois melodies, he'd danced salsa in a packed betting shop. He'd kissed at the Anchor, got drunk by the library. He'd shed an angry tear in the Albany. He knew the roads and inlets, the streams rolling from the river, the tags like tattoos upon his back, and he loved it all. The nations, the artists, the market, the stories, the gossip, the drinking, the spirit. I met an old man who said he was Deptford. So Deptford. So Deptford.
We are here in Deptford, in the here and now, and Deptford comes from the word deep fjord. It was the shallowest part of a river that you could walk across. Long story short, there's just a load of musicians, as we're here, and painters and decorators and writers, actors, actors and dancers and stuff.
I hear you when I'm in my house around the back of the
It's vibrant, it's very lively. It reminds me of somewhere like Notting Hill Gate or Camden Town. It's rapidly becoming
Deptford. I love Deptford because it's got independent traders, it's got energy, and it flourishes with the mixture of different people that come in. I believe if you can't find it in Deptford, you won't find it anywhere.
Yes, as I said, get your lovely refreshing watermelon cut to size. Mrs. Don't criticize. Watermelon with them on the side. £1 a slice of watermelon, get it now.
It used to be, way back in Victorian times, very much white working class, from which stock I come from. But now I'm pleased to say for myself that I'm fortunate that I haven't travelled much, but I meet all the nationalities here.
Deptford, unique, special, brilliant. My family's been around this area for nearly 50 years. Memory of Deptford, it used to be a lot bigger, hell of a lot bigger. You take Deptford, as I say, out of this country, you wouldn't have the Royal Navy, you wouldn't have Greenwich, you wouldn't have London.
Only for a price, I will sew it for you. See how beautiful that is.
Oh, it's beautiful. I have something like this in a top, and
you know, so you'll be special now.
Which guy special?
Special customer.
No special.
Are you ready? Oh, if you don't live in Deptford, you are not living life. Deptford is the best place in the world. We are cosmopolitan. Every culture, food, the market on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday is really sick. It's beautiful. There's so much culture here. There's so much love, beauty.
I used to live in Deptford in Amersham Road in 2002, but I moved to Greenwich. I always come to Deptford to check my friends because in Deptford there's unity among all race.
Amen.
So we love it. We are together here, both men and women and children and everybody. One love.
my mum went into labour with me in Deptford Market, and the ambulance men came and packed up her stall. I'm the fourth generation of my family to be trading in Deptford Market.
Yes, and I was trading down here, and I went into labour with Susan and they took me from here, and I got to the hospital 20 minutes before she was born at Beckenham. Because I've been here so many years, I grew up in the market. I see children now that have grown up and that are, got families of their own that come down and are still buying off of me. And I remember their parents buying off of me when they were young.
I've lived in Deptford for the past 26 years now, which is basically my whole entire life. There's a whole lot of soul that's been taken away from this community and this whole place, and it's a bit of a shame. I live in Deptford, I work in Deptford, I actively help the community in Deptford, but I can never live here again, which is a bit of a shame. But I think that's most people around here had the same problem, so I guess I'm the only one.
I met an old man who said he was Deptford. He said you could see the whole world in Deptford Market. He said Deptford Market was his whole world. He loved the bits and bobs, strange things of a strange world. Nuts and bolts now unraveled on a paved curb. Rags to riches like a creature shed its old skin. Hand-me-down blouses, deal spotters start scavenging. Wire piles, adapters pass their sell-by. Phone mountains, geeks line the tech mile. They can breathe life with a solder rhyme. A man's rubbish is another man's sole desire. The framed photos sign the collector grabs. Scratch records, the jewel of a DJ's bag. A man shouts, steals from a ladder's height. An old biddy counts the change for a thing she likes. The whole world is alive in this market race. It ain't hard to see why the old man loved this place. The whole world is alive in this marketplace. It ain't hard to see why the old man loved this place.
Get on the market. You might be lucky, pick up a small antique, a large antique.
Need some petrol.
Something new.
Onions.
Something old. You can pick up a boyfriend, a girlfriend. You don't know till you bump into someone.
Deptford is a quiet area, but sometimes there are rascals who drinks and make trouble. Otherwise, it's a very good place. And I like it. Every Wednesday, every Friday, and every Saturday, I'm very happy to see people buying goods and doing what you want. This is the end. But excuse me, I'm in a hurry. I have a meeting today in our group.
Oh no, I'm going to get some money, mate.
They are £2 again here, £1 a sock to clear them up here. Clear them up again. They are £1 a sock again. £2.
You might as well say I was born here, and I always come to see my friend called Ronald at Deptford Market. He's a tradesman in exotic fruits and veg, and it's a developing area where you've got new builds. But the new builds is not really social housing, it's mostly for people who's got money, people in the up and coming areas, so this new build. So if you ask me, I couldn't afford to live in that type of build. Deptford becoming an expensive area to live in, and the people of Deptford being pushed out of Deptford. I'm not saying a bad thing about it, it might be good, but it's changing, Deptford is changing.
Are you scared about the change?
No, I'm not scared about it. They're trying to create housing, they're trying to say they are helping Deptford, but who are they really helping for? If I wanted to live in a one-bedroom place, how much would it cost me? Is it affordable? would I get help? Can I afford the mortgage? And who are the people living in those type of places? And I don't really know these people. I would like to go and meet them. What's the day today? The 5th? Okay.
You've got to have new people all the time, otherwise it stagnates.
Yeah. What do you see what do you think Deptford will be like in 10 years or so?
Interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think, if provided the baby doesn't get chucked out with the bathwater, like as in the people that are here already aren't priced out of being able to live. Take the people away and it's just building.
Because I think the sort of like press that the developers are trying to sort of generate around the market, yard, I think is definitely going to have sort of like a really positive onset to the rest of the high street. It's definitely true that Deptford has changed or changing. I think if you'd asked me this question when I was running the Deptford Arms, I was very much sitting on the sort of fence of like, I wasn't too sure about change, or I was a bit unsure about developers, or, because everyone's got their own kind of like disagreements or ups and downs.
There are a different demographic moving into the area now. All places should be inclusive of everybody, and it's just about keeping that and not pushing any certain type of person out. I mean, I'm speaking for someone that's only been around here for like 5-6 years, but I've seen quite a bit of change. Not necessarily in a bad way, as I said. Like, I think at the moment it's still, maybe it's on a tipping point, but it's still definitely a place where you'll get a complete mix of people. I would like to think in my work I'm encapsulating an area that has been and might change. Bits like this on this t-shirt, for example, are pictures I found on the bric-a-brac market and taken and drawn. I managed to get bits of buildings from the area that are probably changing or have changed already since I've done this. So, yeah.
And now there's an empty flat, an empty bench, an empty chair where he would sit, an empty calf, an empty mug, an empty space where he would live. The Sainsbury's now a coffee house, new shops beneath the bridge. The old man who was our Deptford disappeared beyond the wings. There's new faces, new haircuts, new jeans cut far too tight. New rules, new signs, new flats stacked far too high. There's new shoppers and new sellers, new fashions for the kids. The old man from Deptford disappeared beyond the wings. But there's his grandson with new future, new ideas full of hope, who holds his grandpa's photograph in the folds inside his coat. He lives for culture and community, it's what his grandfather would have done. The past, the present, the future. He lives to bring this town as one.